Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Merkon's Musings, a Star Wars action figure review. And today we're looking at none other than, you guess it, Nunb, the famous co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon during the Return of the Jedi battle in space over Endor. So yes, this character is fairly interesting. But before we get into the history of the character, as you can see, we have several versions of the character here. The Vintage Collection had 2 releases, but it's essentially the same action figure. I'll go into that when we get into the review. So before we get into the review, we're going to take a look at the history of the character. Nunb was a Sulstan arms dealer and smuggler who joined the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War. Later, he became a pilot for the Alliance fleet and flew as General Lando Calrissian's co-pilot aboard the Millennium Falcon. During the space battle above the planet Endor, the Millennium Falcon and X-Wing pilot Wedge Antilles flew into the second Death Star's infrastructure. They were successful in destroying the second Death Star, delivering a devastating blow to the Galactic Empire. So there you have it. That's the history of the character. So now we're going to get into the history of the action figures. But before we do that, I wanted to give a little note about this action figure. So Nunb was offered originally as a mail-away exclusive through an offer advertised on the back of Return of the Jedi's 48-back card back. To get the action figure, the collector had to mail in proofs of purchase, and they would receive a sealed in a Kenner baggie version of this action figure, which is this one. So this one would come originally in a Kenner baggie, but then they put it on a 48 back later on. And now we're going to take a look at the action figures. And as always, we start with the Kenner action figure, which is this one here. This one came out in 1983, Kenner version. So this is a typical Kenner action figure. It has 5 points of articulation. So it has the head that goes up, right and left, and the arms go up and down, and the legs go up and down. He comes with a blaster. It's kind of reminiscent to the blaster that the Cloud Car pilots had. But this one's molded black, where the other ones were gray. The action figure is not bad. It's the sculpt of the face is pretty decent for Kenner standards at the time. And I like the way they did the sculpting on the vest. As you can see, he's got a lot of nice details, and he's got the gloves. I wish they would have done something different with these things that go over his boots, as you see in the more modern versions. If they would have added a color, would have been nice, but it's still very good. The head sculpt is good. I like the little helmet he's wearing, or a skull cap. They did a nice job. Next one we have is the Power of the Force 2, which came out in 1997. This also came out on a green card with the hologram image of Nunb, but I always loved the good old freeze frame, so I went with this one. So if you look at the back, it's got the image that's going to be on this slide that's in there, and you can see all the other characters in the wave and other things that you can get. So now I'm going to open this action figure up. And what's interesting about this action figure, the newer version also comes with 2 weapons, as well as the Power of the Force 2 action figure came with, which is weird because you never see Nunb carry a gun in Return of the Jedi, and yet they gave him these 2 weapons, and then the Vintage Collection copied the exact 2 weapons, which I find very interesting. But let's take them out of the packaging. And let's take a look at this action figure. He comes with 6 points of articulation. He's a bit buff. His head's a little stiff. He's a bit buff, as you can see, like most of these Power of the Force 2 action figures are. And he comes with 6 points of articulation. He's got the head that moves all around, and he's got the waist, that's 2. He's got the arms, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 for the legs. And the sculpt is pretty good. I just don't like the fact that he's very muscular, as they did with all these figures. The head sculpt is fairly good, and they got a lot of the stuff right. And they got these things around his ankles that cover the bottom of his spacesuit, and his shoes are right. It's a decent looking action figure for Power of the Force 2 standards. He does come with 2 weapons. So this one has more accessories like the Power of the Force 2 usually had. And what I find interesting is that the Vintage Collection tries to emulate that with this, with their own version of this character. And last but not least, we have the Vintage Collection VC 106. But this is not the initial release of the Vintage Collection version. This is the 40th anniversary one. And it's the same action figure. It's a reissue of the original 106. They try to update the paint applications to make it look more like the photo on the card back, whereas the original one that came out in 2012, I'm going to bring it in close, you can see the details on his face. It's got a nice paint wash on his lips there. It looks more realistic in my opinion. He's not washed out like that one. This is a more realistic version of the character, which I like. But yeah, it's a great character. It's got great articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and the arms have insert joints on the elbows, and the hands turn. As you see in both, this one, the hands turn. And he comes with a holster, which is great. It's got a cool gun that's just like the Cloud Cup pilots from Kenner. And he's got the leg articulation. He's got insert joints, which I love because they hid them in the folds of his flight suit. And the feet can point down and turn. And the bottom of the leg twists. And he's got the waist articulation as well. So yes, it's very, very good articulation, very good looking action figure. Definitely a definitive version of the character. There's no need for them to make a new one. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Merkon's Musings, Nunb. And if you did, please hit like and subscribe. And I look forward to giving you another episode real soon. Have a great day.